Hello and welcome to AZ in the Circle, Arizona Softball Podcast. I'm your host, Javier Zuluaga. We have a great show planned for you today in Season 3. We have a Big Ten all-freshman first team guest with us from Xavier Prep High School, Lauren Putz.
Hello.
Yeah. Thank you for being on the show today.
Thank you for having me.
Yep. We will go over, I got like 5 questions, but we'll see where it takes us.
Perfect.
We're going to ask you about, your time at Xavier, recap your first season, defended the Big Ten championship. That's awesome. I had a great conversation with Coach Stoll. We'll talk a little bit about that. We'll break for our sponsor, and then we'll talk about your recruiting journey.
Perfect.
One of my favorite parts.
Yeah.
And then a little bit about the legacy there at Michigan, and we'll wrap up with some easy ones like, what's on your playlist? What do you listen to?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sounds good.
All right. Well, thank you again for being on the show.
Of course.
We're so excited to have you before you head off for your second season there at Michigan. But first, Xavier Prep, right?
Yes.
You just saw they won another state championship title.
Yeah.
This May, right? And that's got to be great seeing your alma mater win. When you played here at Xavier, I think you won 2 state championships?
3.
3. Holy cow. So tell me a little bit about that experience.
Yeah, it was a great experience. Freshman year came in, heard that they hadn't won a state championship in a while, so it was pretty cool to get one under my belt my freshman year. And then sophomore year, we came back and did it again back to back. Junior year, not so hot. Didn't really make it far into the tournament. And then senior year, we left off and we got another state championship, my 3rd in my high school career, which was really cool. So got to end senior year and move out to college with a bang. So that was pretty cool.
You were on the team with Megan Scouten?
I was on the team with Megan Scouten.
Yeah, at Boston College there.
Yes.
Yeah. So she must have been a junior, senior, and you were a freshman, sophomore?
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. Have you guys faced each other in college yet? Boston
Not
College,
yet.
Michigan?
I would like to. I think that'd be really cool. I've only faced or will be facing Bridget Donahue at Northwestern.
Yeah.
So I'll be facing her this year. We didn't get to face her last year, but I'll face her this year, and that'll be pretty cool to see her.
Because they have 30 teams in the Big Ten now?
Yep.
About 30 teams. I know, but they have a lot, so you don't get to play.
Yeah.
Because the series is usually, do they count the 2-game series in the Big Ten as a series?
Yeah, pretty much.
Sometimes you have one of those, right? Then mostly 3 games.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. Okay, so hey, speaking of the Big Ten, let's recap your first season at Michigan.
Yes.
Wow. So before we get to the Big Ten tournament, tell me a little bit about when you got there in the fall. How was that experience? And then meeting your teammates that maybe you looked up to before, and then the season starts to get going. A little bit about that.
Yeah, so moving into the fall, it was definitely a nerve-wracking experience, moving across the country and away from home, something very different for me. But I felt like I was in good hands. Obviously, both my parents went there, so I kind of knew what the school was and knew how to involve myself in the softball team and all that stuff. Moving in, I got to meet all of the teammates that helped us move in, which was really cool. Saw Bonnie in the beginning. And it was just really cool just like meeting all the girls. Obviously, you watch them on TV the year before, and so it's weird to think that you're going to be there that next year. And so I met 2 of the freshmen in my class prior, and then I met the other 4 when I got there, which was really fun. So we were kind of a close-knit team this year, just always being there for each other, looking up to senior Ellie Sealer, who was a captain, Ellen McVeigh, and Lauren Drakowski. So it was good to just like play behind them and look up to them, along with a lot of the juniors and sophomores. So I would say first year fall came really quick. So the fall ball really happened. It was good to start in the fall games, just kind of get my bearings in the college softball world and just trying to understand how the game works, how it moves, being with these teammates and the coaches, which went really well. So fall ball was great. And then went for Christmas break and was excited for season to start.
Did you going to Michigan, whether you were going, I always say this, whether you're going to NAU or whether you're going to Michigan, did you have a little bit of homesickness? And then that's what I'm saying. If you would have gone to NAU just 2 hours away, you probably would have had a little bit of homesickness.
Yeah.
Did that really help to come home for Christmas?
Oh, 100%. I got homesick a lot. I got homesick way more than I thought I would. But I definitely had teammates and I have family friends out there who helped ease the homesickness a little bit. So coming home for Christmas break was a great little break from being far away from home and being with my family and my friends who I missed. And it was nice that my parents were able to come out a lot. My dad came out a lot for all the home games, which was nice to see him, which helped.
At the fall games?
Yeah, fall games. And then he came out, I think, for almost every single home weekend during season, which was great. So that definitely helped a lot. My grandparents were out there, so I got to see them a couple times. And then, came back from Christmas and we got going right away. It was instant lift.
That helps with the,
oh,
you're not
yeah.
thinking
Yeah, I would say the 20-hour weeks, a lot of people don't really like them. I prefer the 20-hour weeks over the 8-hour weeks. With the 20-hour weeks, you aren't really thinking about home as much. You're just kind of focused on softball and school, and that's pretty much it, which is nice. Whereas 8-hour weeks, you kind of have a lot of alone time and a lot of downtime, especially when you're in groups. Like, you're not with the entire team the entire time. You're with probably 4 or 5 girls at a time, which can make it a little bit strange and, like, kind of take you away from the team. So just, I feel like being busy and having stuff on my mind definitely helped with the homesickness, as well as, like, trying to talk to my parents all the time and my sister and my friends back home.
Okay, good. And so the season gets underway.
Yes.
And were you a little bit sad that you had to leave the snowy, cold weather of Michigan and go down south to play?
No, I personally like the cold. Living in Arizona, it's not fun living in 115 degrees all the time, especially playing in it majority of your life. So I personally loved the snow. A lot of people call me crazy for that, but I'll take it. I'd rather play in 30 degrees than 115 personally. But it was nice. We got to go to Florida for preseason. So it was nice weather there, a little humid, but I'd say just traveling with the team for the first weekend was just a really fun experience, and like seeing how everybody interacts and how you have so much team bonding wherever you go, like going to each other's hotel rooms and hanging out, playing cards. A lot of girls play euchre, and it's a big
Isn't that a
thing out
Midwest?
there.
It's a Midwest thing.
And so
Because I never learned it. I'm from
yeah.
the Midwest, and they always get on me like, "What do you mean you don't play euchre?" No,
Yeah.
I don't play euchre. So was it easy to learn?
No, I still haven't learned it.
Yeah, see?
I tried, and I've had people trying to explain it to me, and I just don't understand. I've asked my dad to, and he just can't seem to do it either. So that's one thing I was trying to learn. Hopefully I learn it this season, because that's all they do it for hours, and they play it on their phones, on the plane rides. They play it in the hotel lobby with like actual cards on the bus. Like they play it everywhere. And so that's like a fun little team bonding thing. Like, well, even just I just sat down there and just watched. Like it was just you're always around each other.
Did you say, does anybody want to play Scrabble?
I don't know how to
An anagram? Anything?
No, I wish. I wish we played other card games besides euchre, but you just have to sit there and just kind of try and understand it. But
okay. If you learn it, you come back some other time. You can teach me.
I will.
Quick little lesson.
I will.
Okay, good. And so, okay, you're getting into the season. You're getting into the thick of it. What do you remember during the season as one of your maybe favorite parts or favorite memories, maybe a couple of them, on the field?
Ooh, I will say I would say preseason. I know it's not really season, but I'd say preseason I hit my first collegiate home run, which was really a cool experience. And getting to take that ball home with me and like put it in my locker back at school was a really cool experience.
Were your parents there?
No.
But they heard it. Yeah, they saw. Okay.
They were there in spirit and watching on the TV. But no, I feel like that was one of the main ones. And then I'd say just being able to going to other states that I've never been to. I've never been to Oregon. We got to go to Oregon this past year. Indiana. I'm trying to think. Ohio. I've never been to Ohio. North Carolina for spring break was really fun because we kind of just bust around all over the place. Went to Duke, NC State.
It was like pro ball players, really.
It was
all you're doing is playing softball and being together as a team, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That's got to be great.
Oh, it's amazing. It's so much fun. You learn a lot about each other and a lot about the coaches too, like on the outside of the field perspective, which is really fun. And you just kind of grow like as people together, which is really fun. The bus rides are the best part. I wish we bused a little bit more. I think we bused maybe 2 or 3 times. We flew everywhere else because it's so far with the Big Ten expansion now. Thankfully, UCLA got to come to us. We didn't have to go all the way to California. But, I feel like the travel is just, like, the best part. I think it's just so fun because you get a new roommate every weekend, so you get to learn more about that person and, like, share, like, a space with them. And then...
Did Coach Stoll put you with a freshman roommate, or were you another athlete from another sport? How do they do that in Michigan? Or do you get your choice?
In the dorms, we got to choose. We all had volleyball players, and one of the girl who I was rooming with, she's from San Diego and she's friends with my cousin. So I kind of knew her prior. So it was a cool little connection we had. So we just decided to room together, and it was great. And it was cool because we got to meet like all the volleyball girls through the softball girls. So it was like we knew softball, we knew volleyball, we knew soccer, lacrosse. Like you just kind of learn and like know all these different athletes, whether it's in class or in the dorms. It's just like a fun, like growing circle of people. And so, Bonnie usually lets us choose our roommates, I think, or at least request to be with an athlete, because especially a different sport athlete, because you're with your teammates all the time. So having a different sport definitely helped because you got your own alone time when they were in the fall, and then we're in the spring. So you kind of got the dorm to yourself and got to grow your circle of people with like the teams. Yeah.
That's great. Okay, so then you get to the Big Ten tournament. Tell me about that. What do you remember about that?
I remember driving to Purdue, and I've never been to Indiana, and we stayed in this hotel, and it was like in the middle of campus of Purdue, which was really, really cool.
This is the Purdue Hotel, the one that's it's all.
Yes.
It's got a great carpet, Purdue carpet, and inside's decorated Purdue everything. Yeah, I forget what it's called, but yeah, it's a great hotel.
It was an amazing hotel. I got to stay with one of my best friends on the team, which was really cool. And we were there for, I want to say like it felt like a week. We were there. Both my parents were out there for that weekend, which was really cool. I remember driving to the stadium, and there was
Bittinger.
Yeah. Yes.
It's a beautiful field.
It's gorgeous, and you have like the hills in the background outside of the outfield fence. They had all like the flags marked with like all the Big Ten schools. And I remember we warmed up on the baseball field first, and their baseball stadium is like ginormous, and their cages are really nice on the inside. So we got to warm up there every single day. And then they started putting the game that was happening on like their big screen in the baseball stadium. So like both teams were watching it as the game was going on. And then just walking, like they had a snack tent, they had like all this different stuff just for you to just like enjoy it. Like they had bleachers in the outfield to sit on. It was just a really cool,
well-run tournament.
It was really well run. So it was really cool to see, especially all like the different fans out there. Like you saw Northwestern, you saw Oregon, you saw UCLA, you saw Michigan. So it was just cool to see like all the different fan bases too.
And then was it single elimination or double elimination?
I think it was single elimination.
Single. So was it 3 games to get to the championship?
Mm-hmm.
So that's almost like club ball, right?
Yeah.
Did you ever have to do 2 in one game, or probably?
Yes, we did have to play a couple. It was like
2 in one day, I meant.
Yeah, in series we did. We did it against Oregon. We did it against Michigan State. And it was just because of weather delays and like weather problems.
But in the tournament yourself?
Not in the tournament.
Just one game?
Mm-hmm, which was really nice.
You stayed in, winner's bracket the whole way.
Yeah, pretty much. It was really nice.
And then how was it, you guys, I don't know who was in the championship game, but did you guys kick butt and it was, okay, we kicked their butt, we won, or was it one of those games where it was close to the very end?
I'd say, who did we play first? We played, maybe it was 5 games to the championship, because we played Wisconsin first, and then we played, maybe was it Purdue? I think it was like Purdue, and then it was Oregon, and then it was UCLA. I will say Purdue was kind of like a back and forth. Oregon was a 5-0 after they beat us 3 times in the series. Wisconsin
That's right.
Was
That's hard to beat a team so many times in a season. So it was really an advantage you guys, even though you had lost 3 times to them before, to come back for them to beat you the 4th time.
Yeah. So, and then Wisconsin, I think, was pretty close too. I don't know why it got so close, but I think it was like 2-1, 3-2, something like that. And then, Purdue was back and forth. Oregon was a shutout. And then UCLA was 2-0. But there was always like chances for them to score. So it was always like you held your breath in the dugout watching defense. So that was like, I'd say it was a close game, like just like stress-wise and like mental-wise.
2 big, great teams going at each other.
So that was a really great experience.
Like a Rose Bowl matchup for softball, right?
It was like a little Rose Bowl matchup. So it was cool just experiencing that like in the dugout and playing on the field was really, really cool. So it was a really fun tournament.
Good. Okay, so then you finished this, and then you went on to the NCAA tournament, and I guess only the World Series, only Texas gets to feel like happy on the end. Yeah. What did you do to maybe ease down or blow off some steam or recharge your battery? What did you do this summer that you had fun?
Yeah, I will say it took me a little bit to accept the fact that I needed to take a little break, because I got home and I immediately started hitting and lifting again, and my mom and dad were like, you kind of need to slow down and just relax for a little bit. And I'm someone who's always like a go, go, go kind of person, and especially the year before you're done with high school and you're straight into club again, and you're doing all these summer tournaments and like week-long in Colorado and PGF. So I just wasn't used to doing nothing all summer. And so it took me I want to say like maybe 2-3 weeks of doing stuff to like actually like tell myself, okay, you need to relax. So I would be with my siblings. My sister had foot surgery, so she wasn't on her foot at all. So I was kind of staying with her, catching up with old friends from high school and club ball, and then traveling to California with my family for my little sister who plays beach volleyball. So she has like lessons and practices and tournaments out there. So we kind of stay out there for her now instead of me, because no more softball. So just like being in Manhattan Beach, we have old friends out there who we get to see. And then I flew out to Chicago with Lily Valamont and Ellie Sealer, and then past player Kiki Thole. And we went to the Chicago concert for country, which was really good. I was there for 2 days, and so I got to see them. And then went to the lake trip with my mom's side of the family, all my cousins. Got to go wake surfing and wakeboarding and tubing.
I saw you surf. I was like, well, she's a surfer.
Yeah.
And you're like, lake surf, but no,
lake surf.
If you wake surf, you can surf.
Maybe in a couple years.
Okay,
We'll see. We'll see if I have the guts to go into the ocean and try and surf. But Yeah, just like that kind of stuff. Being with family and friends was like a big thing for me. Just
And then
to
you feel like it got winded down, but then it recharged you, and then you were eager to get back into it.
Yes, I will say I'm very eager to go back. As much as I hate leaving my family and friends and all of that behind, I am excited to go back to Michigan and move into my house and be with my teammates and start fall ball, meet the new freshmen, and all of that fun stuff.
You think that homesickness has gone away?
I hope so.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have a car out there this year, so I think having a car in my own like room in like a house will hopefully make me feel a little bit more at home and like try and like make it as homey as possible. I'd say the dorm, being in there with another person and like only having like a small amount of space, no car, and like being far from home obviously didn't help with the homesickness. So I'd say that the homesickness hopefully will be gone or at least lowered this year.
It will, for sure. Yeah. That's good that that you're at least thinking about it. And
yeah.
All right, good. That's awesome. That's a great recap.
Great recap.
Yeah. Okay. We'll have one more question, then we'll break for our sponsor. Speaking of, you were out in the West Coast at Manhattan Beach.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was near Huntington Beach with the PGF, and I had a nice conversation with Coach Stoll. She was there looking at some Arizona talent.
Yeah.
Hopefully that will be a future teammate of yours. And she shared a story about your mom being an All-American playing at Michigan, and your dad playing at Michigan also, and 12 seasons in the Major League Baseball. Actually, I'm so thankful that his last stop was Arizona Diamondbacks, because that's how you ended up here. And then your siblings being very athletic. So I started thinking, man, I wonder if growing up with an All-American softball player and a Major League Baseball player as a dad, she probably didn't even realize it, but there was probably a lot of competitiveness going on at home. And then when they were probably coaching you, they were probably a little bit extra intense, and you just thought it was probably the norm. Do you think all that competitiveness, all that intensity and enthusiasm got you prepared to really make a big impact for Big Blue right away?
100%. I do think growing up, I was very lucky to grow up with 2 very athletic parents and 3 athletic siblings who were always around. So I feel like the competitiveness definitely helped in the long run without even realizing it. Growing up, you're competing with, I have a twin sister, so I'm competing with her all the time. And then my 2 younger siblings, brother and sister, obviously we all play very different sports. So it's just, you kind of compete in that way, like, oh, who's the better at this sport? Who's the better at this sport? And I grew up playing with my sister all the time, volleyball, softball, soccer, all that stuff. So always having that competitive nature. And then, like you said, my mom did coach me from 12 to 14. So always having that voice in my head. She was always very nitpicky about everything. So
attention to detail.
Very attention to detail. So anything about fielding, hitting, running, throwing, anything like that, there was always, oh, you can do better. You can do better. Never like, oh, good job. Like, okay, that's fine. Do better. You can be better. Be better. And then it kind of just like stuck in my brain. And then when my mom wasn't coaching me and my dad helped out, like as an assistant coach, like he wouldn't really get mad at me for things or like really nitpick anything because he was just a pitcher. So he doesn't really know the whole hitting stuff or all the, where my mom was a slapper and a power hitter. And
he just knows how to strike him out.
Yeah, he just knows how to throw.
You probably made him upset because he couldn't strike you out. No, I'm just kidding.
Probably, we'll see.
Yeah.
But so yeah, I just having that voice in my head of my mom, like, oh, you can do better, be better, be better, and that's why I'm so hard on myself, because I have that little voice in my head, and I feel like if nobody's gonna tell me, I'm just gonna tell myself, like, oh, I made this mistake, I can do this. I made this mistake, I need to fix this. And so definitely that helped, the competitive nature and just preparing me for like the mental battles in college ball and just trying to stay calm in the moment and not get too ahead of myself.
And then I was thinking, with all that training, right? And then I know you got coached by some great tough coaches here in Arizona, and it's 115, 112. So I think the Arizona softball players in general are pretty gritty because of what the conditions they face year round, and they benefit from the good weather. Even though sometimes it's like an oven because they get to play a lot. So anyway, so I'm thinking, when she showed up at Michigan, she was so well prepared that she probably didn't even know how well prepared she was until maybe like, when did you know, holy cow, all this has paid off more so than the norm?
I would say in the fall. I know I talk about the fall a lot, but in the fall is like, it's your intro to college ball and like how a college team acts and how they play against other teams like at their college stadium. So I would say fall ball first game I was able to start, and I started in like the 6 or 5 hole. I was just hitter and just hitting my first triple that game and just like getting on base, keeping it simple. And I feel like that's where I really like got my bearings of, okay, I'm in college and I can do this. Like,
It's just a game,
softball.
right? That's what your parents taught you.
Softball.
You were saying that before when we were talking, that your parents say, "Hey, no matter what, remember, it's just a game." What were you saying to me?
I would say they did tell me it's nothing more than just softball. You know how to play softball, so just go out and play softball. Like, nothing's changed. All that's changed is the speed and the power. Like, nothing else has changed. Like, it's still the same fundamentals. It's still the same, like, ideas and everything you know about softball. It hasn't changed. So just, like, keeping it simple and doing what I know how to do best. And I feel like that definitely prepared me the most for this college level. And I feel like that's definitely where I thrived, with having both my parents' voices in my ear and just trying to stay calm. I also work with a mental coach on the outside. And so having her also in my mind, just like, okay, like, keep your mind, keep your composure, like, all this stuff. Like, you can do hard things. Like, I've done hard things to get here, and I'm going to continue to do hard things to stay here. So it's just about, it's like an ever changing battle, and you just have to stay composed through it.
I've always thought it's something like, you want to have a sense of urgency, you want to do great, but when you're not making the progress that you want, you got to give yourself a little bit of grace, but keep pushing yourself.
Yes.
I would think there's some kind of balance there.
Yeah, I'd say so. I definitely had to understand that, because there were some times we would play some teams, some very tough teams, and you don't hit as well as you want to against these good pitchers, and you just have to take a step back and take a deep breath, talk to your hitting coach. I would talk to my hitting coach almost every single day after a game, go through film with her and see what I'm doing wrong, figure out it's just like a mindset thing, talk to my mental coach and figure it out. And then you come into the game and you just, like, put that work to the game, and you exceed, and you just fix your mistakes.
Yeah, I agree 100%, where I don't know about all that techie details in film, but the idea is, if you were struggling or you face some adversity, the answer is, all right, pick yourself up, put in the work, and then you'll have another opportunity, and that's how you improve.
Yeah, 100%.
That's great. Well, hey, that's an incredible first half of a show.
Yeah.
We're going to take a quick break to hear from our sponsor that helps us keep our lights on. So we'll be right back. Home Repairs and Remodeling is proud to sponsor Season 3 of AZ in the Circles podcast. They love the game of softball. Home Repairs and Remodeling has been in business for 20 years, established in 2005. Now, for homeowners looking to remodel their kitchen, who have a vision of this functional, beautiful place to make homemade meals for their loved ones and entertain family and friends, call Home Repairs and Remodeling today at 602-686-8354 or visit their website, homerepairsandremodeling.com. Also, Home Repairs and Remodeling provides a solution to the affordability issue in the Valley by building ADUs, auxiliary dwelling units. Basically, a second living space situated on the same lot as a primary residence. Think garage conversion to a casita, or a mother-in-law suite, or a rental income unit, or a guest house. Again, call Home Repairs and Remodeling today. Home Repairs and Remodeling, your vision, our know-how. And we're back. Thank you so much for sponsoring our show. All right, we got 3 questions. My favorite part is your recruiting journey. All right, so share your recruiting journey leading up to September 1st. Let's put it this way. The summer before your September 1st, what was the mindset going into that summer for you?
Yeah, I'd say going into that summer, I was just trying to focus on giving it my all, trying to be the best that I could be, just because I know there was coaches watching, and I know that I wanted to play in college, and that was a dream for me. And that nobody else is going to do it for me, so I have to put in the work myself. So I was doing extra work outside, extra hitting, extra throwing, running, all that stuff, just so that the coaches could see that. Giving it my all in warm-ups, because warm-ups, everybody's watching. Like, you never know when someone's watching, so you just have to be prepared and know that they're watching.
That's a great tip.
Yeah.
For all those athletes out there watching, student athletes watching, that I've heard that from coaches. Please, catcher, when you're throwing it down, throw it. Shortstop, when the first baseman throws you the ball, zip it. That's a great tip.
Yeah. So I was always taught that, like, an early age from my parents. Like, you never know who's watching, so make sure you're giving it 100% every time. So just, like, keeping that mindset and just going out and getting what I wanted, and just not trying to shy away from a challenge, like going up and hitting how I usually hit, not trying to do too much in front of coaches, because I know what I can do. And so, because once you try, you're going to probably get into your own head, and you're probably going to make a mistake. So just trying to ease your nerves and just softball. Softball.
Good. And then what do you think worked best during the recruiting process in terms of, it's that summer before September 1st. How did you get the coach's attention? What were you doing? Was your coach, great
Mhm.
coach you had with a lot of great connections, was he communicating, or were you using X or Twitter or DMing or email? How was that working for you? Or
I
camps? What do you
Yeah.
think worked best?
I grew up. I didn't use social media when I was growing up for softball or anything like that. Didn't use any of like the film stuff. Like I didn't post videos. I just would go to camps and I would email coaches. My mom and I made a resume for my little softball career. So like just like state championships, like little bits and pieces of like awards and stuff, and like headshots and stuff. And I would email that in the first email I would send a coach. And then I would give a little introduction, like, "Hi, my name is Lauren Putz. I'm this years old. I'm at this school right now." And then every time I would go out of town for a weekend for a tournament, I would send those coaches that email, and then I would give them the list of the times I was playing, where I was playing, what field I was playing at, and who I was playing. And so then they all had like a schedule, because it's really hard to get into contact with coaches who are going to see everyone. So you kind of have to stand out in that aspect. So just giving them day, time, when, where, and who. And then also that resume also kind of gives them like an idea of who they're going to watch, as well as the introduction. So I grew up just emailing coaches. Like I would email them during school. My mom and I would email together, like in between like classes or in between like softball and like being at home. Like we would just like sit down, just like email a bunch of coaches. So that's what worked for me. I know people who use like sport recruiter or
Sports
something like
recruits
that.
or like a platform where you can have your highlights there.
Yeah, so I know people who use that. I just emailed. That's all I
Okay.
did.
Great. And then, okay, so then September 1st comes.
hmm
How was September 1st? Whether you got calls, whether you didn't get calls, what was that experience like? What was the you were looking forward to it that night?
Yeah.
Do you remember?
Yeah, I do remember it was the night before and I was getting very excited. And I remember I was like, okay, I can't stay up late. Like I have to go to school in the morning. Like I'm not gonna think about it. I'm just gonna let it happen. And I remember once it hit midnight, ASU coach texted me. And the only unfortunate thing is that the coaches in the Midwest, like Northwestern and
3
Michigan
a.m.
or Minnesota, they can't email me yet because it's
or
3 a.m.
2.
their time and it's
Yeah.
not even like midnight my time. So I got a text from ASU that night at midnight, like 12 o'clock hit, and boom. And so then I was like, okay, like I was like all like smiling. I was like, okay, this is happening. And then I went to bed and I tried not to think about it. Couldn't really sleep that night because I was so excited. And so then I woke up the next day and I had like 5 texts. I had a text from um, A&M. I had a text from Northwestern, Michigan, of course. Looked at the ASU one again. Like just like a bunch of texts from all these coaches who I've heard of and
And you're telling
know.
your parents, and you're
And
thinking,
I'm
and
telling my parents,
you're
I'm
going
like,
to school.
I like showed them like some of them were sending like fun like videos like in text. I was like, this is so cool. Like this is so surreal. And like it just kept happening like throughout the day. And then I would text them back like in between classes.
Trying to set up a
Yeah,
phone
phone
call
call.
appointment.
And so I called I think maybe 5 of them that night because I was just so excited. And it was just like a cool experience. And just like coaches reaching out who you didn't think would reach out. Like Alabama reached out and I never thought that they would reach out. Um, A&M Trisha Ford reached out and I love Trisha Ford. So it was really cool to see her reaching out from Texas instead of ASU this time. So yeah, it was a really cool experience. And like all my friends were like, "Oh, did you get any texts? You get any texts?" Like some of the teachers who like play, whose daughters play softball, were all asking me like, "Oh, like, did you get a text?" And I was like, "Yeah, I got this, and this," and they're all just like congratulating
Oh,
and
that's
so
great.
excited. So and then I would just keep updating my parents. I'm like, "Guys, like this coach like blah blah blah," and then I'm gonna call this person later. It was just a really cool, really fun day.
And then did you have your questions prepared ahead of time? Had you role played with your mom or your
Yeah,
dad?
my mom and I would, and my dad, we would like make a list of notes and be like, okay, like let's ask this question, or like let's ask this question, and then sometimes they would like sit on the call and just listen what they're saying because they were like so cool, and so just like listen to them talk, take notes down, like, and then I would be like, guys, this is what this school is about. Like I would tell them like what they obviously knew Michigan, but I was like, guys, like this, and this is what Bonnie said, this, and this, and then Northwestern, this, and this. Like I would just like go through the list with my parents that
Good.
night after. So it was just a really cool September 1st experience. I'd say it was like everything I wished for and more.
Good. Everything you worked hard for.
Yeah.
And then, okay, so now, Coach Stoll,
Mhm.
how did it go from the phone calls, the excitement to we want you to visit? And did you pick them as one of your visits?
Yeah. So the visits, like they kind of ask you on the phone call that time, oh, like we would love to have you out for a visit. So I went to Northwestern first for my visit. Great experience, great school, loved the coaches. Bridget Donahue, I got to see her, so that was really cool. So went on that visit first, and then I want to say like a week or two later, I went to Michigan, and
During a
so
football game?
I went to Penn State. I remember
Oh,
which
yeah.
game it was. Penn State. It was a maze out. It was really cool, and I kind of go back in my memories and I just see like all the maize that we wore that day and like the photos that we took, which was really cool. And
Which we'll be showing here, Casey, during this when you're talking. So
yeah, so then that visit was really cool. I remember I got offered before I went to the football game. Bonnie pulled me and my parents in the office.
In Ann Arbor.
hmm
Which, okay.
Yeah, it was really cool. And then went to the football game. I think I might have cried maybe a little bit because I was like, this is so cool. Because I've been to football games before there. But like being there on my official visit was just like a surreal moment.
You're on the field.
I was in the field and I was like in the student section with like all the girls. It was just so like such a surreal moment.
And it's packed, right?
Yeah.
It's sold out.
It was so like
Is it 108? Okay, I was gonna say 108, 110,000.
It was so packed. And I remember we walked back and I was like texting my parents like I'm gonna commit here. I'm gonna commit here. And I had a visit.
You're texting them that to your parents.
I said I'm going, and I had a visit lined up for A&M after, but I was like I can't see myself anywhere else. Like I literally can't see myself anywhere else. So then committed.
When did you know? Because everybody talks about when you know, you know.
Yeah.
So was it Saturday morning when you met with Coach Stoll and she offered you, or was it Friday night on your? I don't know when you got there on your visit.
I'd say part of me kind of knew when I landed and got there because like Michigan's always felt like home to me because I visited so many times. Like it was like a crisp fall air and it was just like it was just like a surreal moment like being in Michigan with my parents who both went there and I'm going on my visit with them. Like that was kind of like a little like telling tale that I kind of knew. And so then when she offered me I was like, oh, this is so cool. And then I went to the football game and was like, oh, I want to come here. That's kind of that's when I was like, okay, I'm committing here. And so
Those are happy tears.
Oh, so happy tears.
Yeah. When you walked into the stadium, or after, or a little bit after she offered you, or when?
I'd say it was like when I was in the field, and then when they were singing Mr. Brightside.
Okay,
in the
yeah.
Big House, which was that's one of my favorite traditions in the Big House is singing Mr. Brightside. I always make sure to stay.
It was all in my head.
Yes.
Yeah, that one.
And they all sing it together when the music goes off. So that was when I started to tear up a little bit, and then I walked back and I told her I was like, I want to come here. We both cried. Jen Brundage, the pitching coach, came in and she started crying. Like, cause I've known.
Oh, you told not your parents. You told the coaches right there.
in the
stadium.
No, in Bonnie's office.
In Bonnie's office. Okay.
Yeah, and my parents were just getting back, and like they knew I wanted to go there, so like they were all excited and all this stuff, and so yeah, I told her we both started crying because it was just like I didn't like process it, and then I was like, I'm going here. My parents both went here, and they both like my mom played for Bonnie and Hutch, and so then she also played I think she played under Jen Brundage too. So it was like she was crying. So it was just like I didn't think of it at first, and then once I like left, I was like, wow, like that's crazy. Like I'm going where my parents went.
That's awesome.
And so that's kind of like the whole.
Your mom didn't just play there. Your mom was an All-American there.
Yeah.
Your dad, oh, he's just a pitcher. He's not just a pitcher. He played 12 seasons in Major League, which is just to make it to the Major Leagues is unbelievable.
Yeah.
Just to make it a year or two. You know, because you only have so many pitches in your arm, right?
Yeah.
But it's just a God-given talent the last 12 years.
I guess it's just I just see him as my dad. Like I
That's
don't
good.
see him as like a pitch. Like I grew up watching him, but I'm like, oh, that's my dad. Like it's not like, oh, that's my dad, JJ Putz. Like he was a pitcher.
Great. That's the way you
I'm
should
just
say
like,
it.
that's just my dad.
Yeah.
Like it's just
That's the right way to think about it. That's an awesome story.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool.
And then when you got back on the flight home, how you guys were just what?
Yeah, Hutch texted me on the flight. She was like, "Congrats, baby Wolf." She sent me like a huge paragraph. Like congrats, baby Wolverine, all this stuff. Like can't wait for you to be on campus. And then I posted, I think probably like a week later once I got my pictures back, and like everyone was commenting on it. All the girls who played there were commenting on it, which was really cool. All my friends were ecstatic. Like,
oh, that's great.
Like the kids I went to like middle school with were commenting on it. Like, because they all knew I was obsessed with Michigan when I was in like 8th grade, 7th grade. Like they were all like, "Wow, this is crazy that you're going there now, and that was your dream school." So it's just, it's really cool.
That is so cool. That kind of leads me to my my next question. You kind of answered it, but I want to go there anyway. You know, the first NCAA World Series was in 1982.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Coach Hutch, you know, she played for the other school in Michigan. Her rookie year was 1976. Mm-hmm. And your sophomore year is going to be 2026. Mm-hmm. That's 50 years of softball. Yeah. And if you think about it, she became the head coach of Michigan, or she started coaching in Michigan, 1983. Mm-hmm. 1 year after the first World Series, she became the head coach in 1985. Less than a decade later, Coach Stoll's with her, spends forever with her, and she's still there. Mm-hmm. And then late 1990s, your mom shows up, right? So that's 3 strong, powerful, smart women playing softball, playing this beautiful game, and then you show up. Mm-hmm. So in a span of 4 ballers, you know, that's 50 years of softball. Mm-hmm. Have you had time to reflect on that? Or are you just so busy in the moment? No, we're just trying to win Big Ten championships and go to the tournament, go to a super regional, and make it to the World Series.
Yeah. Well, I haven't thought about it like that before, which is really cool to think about. But I'd say that I kind of got my like thoughts about it like early on, like when I committed. So junior, senior year of high school, it was all over the place. Any interview I would do in high school, they would always talk about legacy and being with my mom and dad. And I'd say when I got there, I wasn't really thinking about it. It was always in the back of my mind. And my mom and I would talk about it and just like how different it is. Like we would compare and contrast like her year versus my year. And I'd say I wasn't thinking about it a lot when I was playing because I kind of want to make my own legacy. My mom and I talk about it. She made her legacy. Now it's time to make my legacy, which is the reason I chose my own number and not her number, number 12. And so it's just kind of my story now. She's like, I don't want you to think about me. I don't want you to talk about me. It's your story now. It's your time at Michigan. Like I've had my time. Your dad has had his time. And I definitely like to live in it and think about it and talk about it. But I'd say I'm not really focused on it when I'm playing. I kind of like let myself do what I do best and then let the legacy speak for itself because it already speaks for itself loud enough. And it's been speaking it for itself since my junior year, even sophomore year of high school. So just letting it do its own thing and letting myself do my own thing.
Yep. And then as teammates, as you prepare for this year, has there been some type of identity that the seniors have come forward and said, hey, this is what we're going to do this year, or is that yet to be determined this fall?
Definitely yet to be determined this fall. But I mean, we always have this thought, all the seniors, even juniors, even the freshmen, like we all have this, like we want to get to the World Series. Like, that's our biggest goal, win another Big Ten title like last year and keep on pushing to the World Series, get further in the tournament and try and be the best we can be because we're Michigan. We know we can play soft. We know we can compete against these good teams. So just having that mentality and just pushing through and just giving it the best and giving our best to each other and to our coaches and our school and all that stuff. So we all kind of have like the same thoughts going into it every single year. Definitely with more grit and more desire than ever.
Good. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing your story. Yeah, this next question is super easy, okay?
Okay.
And our last question. Finally, on game day, you know, what's on your playlist? Like, let's say you traveled and now it rain delayed, so now you got to do a doubleheader on Saturday. What do you, when you wake up, what's on your playlist? What are you listening to?
I'm a big country person. I love country music. I don't listen to rap. I'll listen to pop occasionally, but country is like my go-to. I have like a country playlist that's like probably 800 songs on it. It's a lot. But so yeah, I listen to country. A lot of people have their own preference. Obviously, nobody really likes to listen to country before a game in the locker room, so we always have fun rap and pop music in there. But yeah, country is the only thing
because
for me.
it doesn't necessarily get you way too high.
Yeah.
And if you listen to the words, you might get way too low.
Yeah.
But if you listen to the beat and the rhythm of it, it's never too hard.
Yeah.
And I think it's a good pace.
And I like listen to it before a game. I listen to it when I get ready, when I lift. Like I love country music.
Yeah, that's great. And then, well, if you had a walk-up song, do they give you a walk-up song in Michigan? Yeah. Okay, what's your walk-up song?
So my walk-up song my freshman year was "Lights Go On" by Jason Aldean, which was a good song. I want to change it this year. My dad really, really wants me to play A-OK. I think one guy he likes in the MLB plays it, and he thinks it's a really good song, so I might do that one. Because I can't really find a good country song aside from that one that I used this past year, so I might shy away from the country and use the one that my dad likes. So yeah,
well, we'll be listening. I love that ESPN Plus thing. Oh my God, it's like nonstop softball all weekend long. And if there's a team that I like I save them, right?
Yeah.
And then I just watch them. And then I tell everybody, don't tell me. I don't care because I can pause it and go back and look at it. I love it.
Yeah.
It's great. Well, hey, this has been a fantastic show. Thank you for coming on, season 3. And if you liked what you saw out there, AZ in the Circle, Arizona Softball Podcast, please spread the word. Follow us on YouTube, subscribe, follow us on X, on Instagram. We put all the trailers there. We put all in the full podcast. So thank you, Lauren Putz, for joining us.
Yes, thank you for having me.
Yeah. Have a great fall.
Thank you.
And then enjoy your Christmas break and then go kick butt and win another Big Ten championship.
Thank you.
All right, Javier with AZ in the Circle, Arizona Softball Podcast. Thanks for watching.